Be mostly cloudy with a couple of thunderstorms this afternoon. High today 87 to 89. Then cloudy skies tonight, low 72 to 75. Wednesday will be mostly cloudy and humid with a thunderstorm in the afternoon. High tomorrow 87 to 89. Then mainly cloudy and humid Thursday with a couple of showers in the afternoon and a high of 88 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
Hello, I'm Jay Musley, and it has been an honor to serve on the Ocala City Council. Our tax dollars are investments towards making Ocala a great place to live, and I am the only candidate with the record of putting the needs of Ocala residents and families before the special interests of a select few. I think experience and personal investment in the community is important. I have worked hard to promote jobs and make sure we invest in public safety. That is why I asked for your vote, Jay Musley, on September 21st. Paid for by Jay Musley, nonpartisan, for Ocala City Council, District 3.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new
Yep,
trunk.
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
That's right. It's time for Sunrise Automotive. Matt Gibbs, auto repair with personal care with Sunrise Auto. Matt, good morning.
Morning, Tom.
We talked last week about recalls.
Yep. Yes, we did.
I got a recall notice in the mail.
Yes, you did.
And it's almost like the Cadillac knew, because the StabiliTrak came on the day after I got the recall notice and hadn't shut off.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Every time I crank it up, it's on.
There you go. That's a good thing.
So the car's like, look, they sent you a letter. Now we're gonna.
Well, see, and if it didn't come on, if it was off, then you'd say, well, I got time. I can put this
because it's
off.
come on and off, on and off, on and off. What do you see? Because this is going to be something. Is this going to be something that's going to be keep me down for a couple of days? Or
I have no idea. I think, like, if you get a recall notice in the mail, first thing you should do is just call the dealer, find out if they even have parts, because a lot of times the people will get the recall notifications, and the dealer hasn't even been told that there's a recall coming out.
Wait. Hold on. Maybe with the headphones on, I got a head cold. I'm not hearing right. So the recall notice goes out from the manufacturer, and a lot of times the people who are on the vehicles know about the recall before the people who are fixing the recall.
Yeah. Yep. Yes,
What
sir.
kind of sense does that make?
What kind of sense does any of this stuff even make anymore? It just goes along with all the other stuff that don't make sense anymore.
I mean, you would think they'd let the dealership know, hey, it's kind of like they let hospitals know when a lot of people are fixing to come in from a tragedy or something. They tell a hospital, hey,
get ready.
There's been a bus wreck on the interstate.
Yeah.
We're sending 45 people to you. Get ready.
Yeah, that don't
I
happen.
mean, so in the car, hey, there are 8.5 million Cadillac SRXs in the Southeast. They're all under recall. We've told them already to come see you. We'll get around to telling you.
Yeah, we'll tell them. We'll tell them in a little bit.
Okay, that makes zero sense.
It always does. So if you get a recall notice, contact the dealer, talk to your service department. They'll probably need to have your VIN number and your mileage,
right?
Because they're going to ask you those things, and just give them the information. Let them look it up. They can look it up, and any other kind of recall. Well, that's a lot of
There may be more recalls that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, absolutely. So in my program that I have that we use at the shop, which is through Snap-on, it's called Mitchell On Demand. So it actually can monitor. So when I put in a VIN number, it'll right there on our screen, it'll show a recall, open recall, and it lays flashing, and it'll give you a number in a little circle. And sometimes you'll go up there and there's 5, 6, 1 to 6 to whatever recalls are, and I can print them out and give them to you and everything. And you really should have those things done. It's no cost to you until the service writer comes out and tells you, well, why you're here.
No.
you need to do this.
You
this,
know
this,
me.
this,
That's
this.
not
That's not going to happen.
Hey, while you're here, you got a bearing that's going out, and the muffler's got, and then we noticed one of your motor mounts were a little. Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, just fix the recall.
Just do the recall.
Yeah, that's kind of like the guy that you go get the 7-day, 6-night vacation for $99,
gosh.
but you got to see the 90-minute presentation.
I'd rather pay the $10,000
Nope.
to go do it.
Not if you do it like I do.
And I do. I bet you I do it a lot like you
Nah,
do.
I bet you don't. I walk in, say, I have a timer with me. I set it at 90 and press start. I let him know right away. That's all you got. At 90 minutes, when it goes off, ding, 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 and it goes off loud. And they want, could you shut? No, 90 minutes. Where's my certificate? No, I got to, no. Your 90 minutes is up. Where's my certificate? No, I need to get my no. And I get progressively louder. After about 60, 70 seconds, 80 seconds, I'm ushered out to the room. They give me my certificate. I'm on my way.
Yeah, I'm not quite bad as you, but
Oh, yeah. Look, it's me. I had a guy one time tell me, he goes, do you drink something every day? I go, yeah, I drink 2 or 3 Mountain Dews a day. He goes, how much do Mountain Dews cost? I go, $1.89. He goes, if you did $1.69 a day, and he showed me, he goes, we could get you this timeshare for that price. I go, but I'm not going to do that. He goes, why not? I go, because I'm not. He goes, come on. I go, not only no, but hell no. And I said it real loud. Everybody in the room said, he goes, come with me, sir. Come out. Gone.
yeah, here's
He
your
tried
$50 gift card and go on.
No, I don't do those, by the way. If I'm going to do a timeshare viewing or something, it's so I can get, if I'm in Vegas, it's so I can get $250 in chips. If it's in Orlando, it's so I can get 2 tickets to Disney. You're going to come off something for me to come to a timeshare. I'm not just coming to a timeshare so I can see what kind of breakfast buffet you got.
I got you.
You got to make it worth. If I get a set of Cutco knives, I'm not coming to the timeshare.
Cutco knives are pretty.
They're
good
very
knives.
good knives, but still, it's not getting me. It's not getting me to the Rainbow vacuum cleaner is good vacuum cleaner. Not getting me to a timeshare viewing.
Me either.
You know what I mean? So,
Nope, ain't happening.
So, well, what's going on with you now? It's fall, so it's about to be fall. The equinox, although in Florida that doesn't mean anything, but on the calendar it's about to be fall. Is this a good time? I know a lot of times people do maintenance on their car at spring and at fall. Is this a good time to start doing some stuff?
I think any time that you need to have it done is a good time to get it done. I'm the old so back in the dealership days, when your car hit 30,000 miles, you'd come in for your 30,000
miles, and they change 20 things and charge you $370, and you'd be on your way.
It's more than that,
Right,
And
but
it's
still.
it's just and so
30,000, 70,000, 100,000. Oh yeah.
So here's my philosophy. This is how we operate at Sunrise Automotive. Let's just say, back in the beginning of the summertime, you had a water pump go out.
Certainly.
Well, you had to put a new water pump on there. We went ahead and drained and refilled your coolant and all that. But now it's fall, so hey, is it time now to have your cooling system serviced?
No.
Ready for coming up into the winter
No,
time?
you did that 3 months
No,
ago.
we just did it 3 months ago. You think the dealer would tell you just did it 3 months ago? You think other garages would tell you? Some will. Some will tell you. We will tell you because we got record of it. So I'm just a firm believer in if it hasn't been serviced, let's get it serviced. If it has been serviced, let's leave it alone.
One of the biggest mistakes people make, you brought up water pump, one of the biggest mistakes people make, and I know you don't let people make this mistake, but a lot of places will, is when that water pump comes off, I don't care how good the hoses are that go to that water pump.
Just replace them.
Replace them all.
Yeah, just
All of them. The ones going to the manifold from the water pump, everything. Replace all the rubberized hoses that go with that water pump. Because if you don't, that little bitty rubber hose that goes from like the water pump to the manifold or whatever that's got to take the water pump back off for and everything, that's inevitably the one that'll go bad first.
Yeah, that's the one you mess with. That's the one you touched.
That's the one that'll go bad first.
Yeah.
So just, I don't think people understand that enough. Replace them, because if an auto shop's not telling you to replace them, that's because they want it to go bad, so you got to come back in and get it fixed again.
Well, and I will say this, though. Okay, so here's a little bit of a difference nowadays, because things change
Certainly.
over time. So so there was a truck in the shop the other day, and it needed a lower radiator hose.
Right.
This lower radiator hose could not come from the Napa AutoZone.
Had to come from the dealership.
Had to come from the dealership.
Yeah.
Now this hose, it was like 7
Pricey.
hoses in one hose. It was like it ran all over the place.
Right.
And this hose was not cheap.
Certainly no.
It was very expensive. So so in that particular case, a lot of times people are stuck to a budget, and this is all I got, and this is all we have. So
That's one thing. But if you can afford to replace all the hoses,
we do it at one time.
because that new water pump is new pressure and everything, and you don't know what pressure those old hoses will take.
That's right. No, and that's true. And and it's just when you take some old fluid out and you add new fluid in, and you put a new part on there, it's just like if your air conditioner goes out and your evaporator is leaking.
Right.
Replace the heater core. It's another $100 or something. Or vice versa. If the heater core is leaking, replace the evaporator. You're taking it all apart.
I have a friend of mine who has a vehicle that they didn't have air conditioning in it for quite a while. They finally got the blower motor fixed and everything, because they had the air was working. It just wasn't blowing into the car because everything was good with the air conditioner. You put your hand close to the vent, you felt cold air. It just wasn't blowing out. So they replaced the blower motor. They get their passenger side floorboard, the rug stays wet. I told him it's probably the air conditioner where it's supposed to leak the water out.
Right.
It's probably clogged. Is that usually what is going on there?
Yep.
And is that something a person can do on their own, or is that depending on
It
is?
Yeah, they could do it on their own. You just got to know where to go to find it, and
Right.
you have to get it. It's so much easier when the car's up on the lift,
Right, because it's
You know,
underneath.
It's underneath and everything. So, but
it's pretty easy fix, isn't it?
Oh yeah, if the drain is plugged up, a lot of times I have a special blow gun that is real super long.
That you can just blow the blockage out.
I just blow it all out.
And this car sat for 3 years.
Yeah, it
So
probably.
it's probably got critter in there or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, it's probably a mud dauber.
Who knows?
Build a house right there.
Right. So that's something that needs. I have an issue with the Cadillac again, and I don't know what's going on. It happened 2.5 years ago, and I know it fixed it, and I'm wondering if it's happening the same thing again. My air condition runs good, but you'll be riding down the road, and all of a sudden, it won't be blowing cold air; it'll just be blowing air. And then you go 2-3 miles, and then all of a sudden, cold air is coming back out again, and it'll run cold air for could be an hour or so, or it could be 20 minutes or so, or it could be 10 minutes or so. The last time it did this, I had the system flushed and recharged, and it took care of the problem. Is that probably the same deal again?
It sounds like it could be. So what you need to do is we need to find out when it's not working, what's not working. Is the compressor still engaged? Is the compressor still pumping? Yeah, AC compressor, all it is a pump.
Right.
So is it still pumping when it's not blowing cold? So if it is pumping and it's not blowing cold, what are the pressure readings? Are they equal? So,
Because sometimes it blows very cold, and then it'll go, and somebody said, well, it's because of hot air in the car. It takes it a while because I do the circulation. I don't do the outside air.
Right.
I keep cooling the air.
Right.
And they were like, sometimes the air's so hot, it takes a while, which I understand. But then once you've been driving for an hour and 10 minutes,
Yeah, we can-
I'm going to Orlando, and an hour and 10 minutes into the drive, it's blowing hot air. That means something ain't right.
That's right. That means
But then
something's
you
not right.
can go 5-6 minutes, and then now cold air is coming back out again.
So is the compressor running and maybe something's icing up because maybe we
You never
have
know.
lost a little bit of Freon?
You never know.
You never.
And the last time what fixed it was flushing the system and putting new Freon in.
So basically, putting Freon in
Right.
it is what fixed it.
Right.
So did they put dye in it when they did that? See, whenever we do it, we put dye in it.
Yeah, but then if you find a leak, now you're bound by law that you got to fix the leak and everything.
No, you're not.
Oh, you're not.
No,
I thought you
no,
were.
No, just
With
like
the old Freon,
dang
yeah.
it, Tom. We're not bound by law to take a vaccination shot. You're not bound by law to get your air conditioner fixed.
What do you mean we're not? The president said.
I heard what
the
he
president
said. I heard
it's
what-
mandates.
Yeah, mandates.
100 people or more that work for you. You're mistaken. We're all going to have to get a chip put in our brain.
Some people need to have a chip put in their brain.
Some people need to have a chip put somewhere. And I'm talking like a splintered up wood chip.
No, see, going back to air conditioners, because, boy, I can feel my blood pressure going up right now.
But back to the air conditioning.
You don't have to have it fixed.
Right. But this happened 2.5 years ago.
Yep.
And adding Freon to the thing.
So there is a tolerance. So
Well, actually, what happened then was he said, because I'd taken it to one place, and they had done some stuff and it didn't work, and they'd put some Freon and it didn't work. I took it to another place, and the place said, well, you there's so much Freon in here that the compressor's kicking on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off.
Okay.
So it's not doing, and I don't know that it's doing that this time, but they drained the system and then put Freon to the right level, and for 2.5 years it's blown cold air.
And so there is a tolerance through all the manufacturers. You're allowed to leak so much Freon over the course of a year. Okay. So back in the day, it would be, if you could lose up to 0.3 of 1 pound per year. So after a couple of years, you're down to 0.5 pound.
You ain't cooling that.
It's not going to cool. And especially nowadays, like a car typically back in the 90s would hold 2.5 pounds of Freon. That same air conditioning system may only hold 1.2 pounds. Now, if you lose a 0.5 pound,
that's a ton.
That's a bunch. That's half your half.
Right.
You've just reduced your efficiency
And
by half.
it blows cold, but it doesn't blow as cold. A year ago, you could turn that air conditioner on, and Susan would, an hour into a trip somewhere, Susan would turn hers off because it was so cold that she would turn her side of the car off.
Right.
And that doesn't happen now. So it may be a leakage issue.
It may be. It probably is.
Probably.
So so the best thing to do is have it evac, recharged with dye. Let it sit for 30 days. Well, see, you're the type of guy, as long as that sucker's blowing cold, we ride. So, and the last person that did it may have put dye in it. So you don't know. But
what are you telling me I need to do?
So what I would do is first I would bring it. If you brought it to me, I would pull your caps off and just see if I see that they used any kind of dye.
Right.
If they did, first thing I do is just give it a good look over and see if I see an oil spot.
Right.
Or a spot that's wet. And then look and see if there's oil in it. So then, because then I know that we have an issue there before we go putting more Freon in it.
Right.
And then, and we just go from there. If I don't see any wet spot, if I don't see any signs of dye, then I'd say let's go ahead and evac it, recharge it, and put dye in it.
What are we talking about price-wise to evac, recharge?
About $140.
So it's not that much money.
It's not that big a deal.
Now,
if it's the new stuff, like I want everybody to be aware, there's new refrigerant now.
Well, this was 11 years ago.
Right. You got 134A. Now there's the 1234YF stuff. That stuff now to
that's
have,
expensive.
Woo! You better hang on to your wallet.
So then why can't I just go get the little Freon can of Freon from the parts store and just do it myself, Matt? They got Fix-A-Flat for tires. It's like the Fix-A-Flat for air conditioning. Why isn't that effective?
Okay, so with those cans that you get from Walmart, okay, you're putting it into the low side because you never want to put it in the high side. High side is high pressure. We're going to put it on the low side. So all we're monitoring, all you can see is the low side pressure. You can't see what the high side pressure is on 134 stuff, on 134 systems. The high side is more critical for me to see as a technician. I need to know what the high side is way more important. Those values are way more important to me than the low side values. So just like you said when the first guy that looked at it overcharged it.
Right.
So what if you're not having a low refrigerant problem? And if you do have a low refrigerant problem and you've got a 16-ounce can and you're 6 ounces low,
now you've overcharged it.
And you don't know that you've overcharged it because you have no idea what the high side pressures are.
So what you're saying is these Fix-A-Flat type things for your air conditioning work about as good as Fix-A-Flat for your tire.
Yeah, they're just incredibly sorry. Now, if you can monitor both sides, low side temperature, low side pressure, high side temperature, high side pressure.
But if you could do that, you'd be a technician.
But then you can come to Sunrise Automotive and get a job because we hiring.
I just, I wanted to let it be known. I knew the answer to that question.
I know you did.
But I just wanted to let it be known that those things that make your life easier, fix the flats of the world and the recharge your air conditioner of the world. That's why my dad used to have that sign that said, labor, $100. If you tried to fix it first, $150.
Yep. And that's it. Bring it to me in a box. We just punch in on the time
Every
clock.
mechanic I know from when my dad was doing it, everything, they all had that sign somewhere in their shop.
Yep.
$100 to fix it. If you tried to fix it first, $150.
Yep. What was that story about? Who was it that did something for Henry Ford? They did something for Henry Ford. He was having a problem on the assembly line, and he called this guy to come, and he sent him a bill for $10,000.
Yeah.
And Henry Ford had a fit. He says it took you like 20 minutes to fix the problem.
He said, "Yeah, but you had to call me to fix the problem."
Well, he said, well, I'm gonna charge you $10 to fix the problem, but I'm gonna charge you $9,990 to know where to fix the problem.
Exactly.
Right?
It's all about the knowledge of where to fix
That's
the problem.
right.
Where to fix the problem. And air conditioners right now, because as we're getting into the cooler air and everything, people might think that's not that important to get your air conditioner looked at or fixed. If it's not running right, it doesn't matter what time of year it is. Get it looked at and get it fixed.
And especially nowadays, because of the computer systems and whatnot, we allow the compressor. Back in the day when you shut the AC off, it stayed off. It's not that way anymore. We have air conditioners running all the time now. Even if you have the heat on, the compressor will still come on. And they do that basically for up north, so that the compressor continues to run and operate even in cold conditions.
Yeah, and I know it's a problem of mine because in the mornings there's a little fog on the windows now, and usually you turn that air conditioner on, it eats that window right away. Nope.
Not anymore.
I got to get down the road, 4 or 5 miles, and then it kicks in, and it's blowing cold air, then it defrosts.
Yeah.
But so, and it seems to be as the motor heats up, it kicks it on and off and everything. And I don't know if that's a compressor issue or anything, but I know that if it needs to be looked at, because that's one of those items that could make the difference between whether you put it up for sale now or while the air conditioner's still working. Because I looked at compressors and all to fix on that Cadillac. Put it up for sale.
We actually have a company that we work with. Primarily, all of our AC stuff we work with one company on, because they do give us an incredible warranty. So, like, if let's just say your compressor was bad and we had to put an AC kit in your car, well, it would have a lifetime guarantee for as long as you own it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I can do that.
That may be worth the $1,900.
And it probably wouldn't be that much, to be honest with you. But that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on, is using companies that work well with us, because if they work well with us,
You do that with starters, alternators, brakes, air conditioning.
everything we can. Everything we can. And we don't ever use used or remanufactured. I won't put a rebuilt water pump in nobody's car.
Remember the dumbest thing ever in cars? And people say, Tom, that's saying something, the dumbest thing ever. My dad used to say, and it was big in the 70s. My dad would say, "You're an idiot who wants to die if you buy a retreaded tire." And remember, retreads were a big deal.
They were huge.
I mean, it was a huge deal where people would take old tires, put new tread on them, melt new tread on them. And my dad said, if you're an idiot who wants to die, buy a retreaded tire.
Yep.
Well, you don't see those anymore.
Nope, we don't. No. We don't see those anymore. I wonder why.
Because you're an idiot who can die. You buy a retread tire.
I mean, Firestone had all their issues with the brand new tires that were.
But my dad said that was the dumbest thing ever associated with cars. Was the guy who convinced people that retreaded tires made sense.
Yeah, no. Especially now when you look back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things.
When you look back.
Like
that $11 part that Ford could have put on the Pinto so people didn't die from the gas tank.
Yep. I'm thinking of something a little bit more today, but I'm just not going to say that anymore.
When you look back to January 20th.
And my grandson only and still has just 2 arms and legs,
But my dad always said that a retreaded tire was the dumbest thing ever in automotive, aftermarket automotive that was ever made was the retreaded tire.
Yeah, I can.
People died because of the retreaded tire.
Yeah. Yep.
And it was a big deal. There was like a retread place right there on Main Street in Jacksonville that did a ton of business. Robert's Retread. I mean, did a ton of business.
I'm 56 years old, and I can honestly say I don't ever, not even when I was a kid in high school,
did a retread.
Did I ever mess with a retread tire?
Where can they find you at?
You can find me at 1800 Northwest 10th Street right here in Ocala. Give me a call at 352-690-1993.
Matt Gibbs, Sunrise Auto. Talk to you next week.
Yes, sir.
Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs in the guy.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
The Consumer Price Index, or CPI, is the price of consumer goods and services purchased by households, measured over time. The August report released moments ago indicate inflation continues as the cost of living in America digs deeper into your money. The Labor Department report shows the CPI rose 0.1% for the month and 4% for the year. That means the 5.3% annual increase still keeps inflation at its worst numbers in 13 years. U.S. taxpayers are pouring millions of more dollars into Afghanistan, Dan Naraki reports.
The U.S. announced Monday that it will send about $64 million in humanitarian aid to Afghanistan. The State Department says it will come from the U.S. Agency for International Development and will be distributed by the UN and independent aid groups. The announcement comes a day after the United Nations issued an emergency call for aid from the international community to stop famine and a public health crisis in Afghanistan.
USA Radio News.
What will you do if there's a sudden food shortage? Given recent headlines, it seems likely, and at any moment. That's why it makes common sense to build your emergency food storage supply now, while you still can. Do it with the kind of food that stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. Food that doesn't go bad like what you get at the grocery store. Whose food should you trust? The largest preparedness company in America, My Patriot Supply. We've served millions of American families going on 14 years. At MyPatriotSupply.com, our mission is your survival. Our emergency food could definitely be your lifesaver when the peanut butter hits the fan. Choose from dozens of delicious meal kits that provide over 2,000 calories a day, which is what your body needs. Order today and your food will ship fast in unmarked boxes to protect your privacy. Don't wait. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Ventures to the next level with a new line of must-have Box of Awesome collections. Bespoke Post partners with small businesses and emerging brands to bring you the most unique goods every month, so no matter what you're into, Box of Awesome has you covered. From travel and outdoor gear to breezy summer styles and grooming goods, Box of Awesome has collections for every part of your life. Now, to get started, take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers will help them pick the right Box of Awesome for you. They release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. It's free to sign up, and you can skip a month or you can cancel anytime. Each box costs only $45, but has over $70 worth of gear inside. Get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code BUBBA at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com, code BUBBA, for 20% off your first box. Or go to rickandbubba.com under the sponsors.
September 21st. September 21st. Why do I keep repeating September 21st?